Your news every Monday to Thursday, hot off the press from Israel and on your device with me, Rolene Marks, right here on the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. Shalom, hello everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Israel Brief. So let's take a look at those stories making headlines, and we begin again with the top story of the week, which is the hostage situation that happened at the Bet Israel synagogue or shul in Colleyville, Texas over the weekend. Now, the latest developments in that story include news coming in from the BBC earlier today that the terrorist that held Rabbi Citron Walker and three of his congregants hostage, Malik Akram, was previously known by MI5 and was assessed in the past to be a menace. However, by the time that he left Britain to go to the United States, he was considered not a threat. Meanwhile, earlier today, 1,000 people gathered together for an interfaith vigil in the company of Rabbi Citron Walker, who said he was absolutely overwhelmed by the show of love and support from the communities, Christian, Muslim, Jewish communities coming out to show solidarity. At least 24,000 people also participated in the vigil online. Now, yesterday, talking to CBS Morning, the rabbi shared his absolutely harrowing experience during the nearly 12-hour hostage situation inside the synagogue on Saturday. He spoke about how the terrorist started to get almost belligerent towards the end, and he managed to throw a chair at him, and this allowed the rabbi and his fellow congregants the opportunity to escape. Another one of the congregants who was also held hostage, Jeffrey Cohen, was talking to Wolf Blitzer on CNN, sharing his experience and his thoughts. And he said that while he didn't think the gunman came there to kill any Jews specifically, he did use anti-Semitic tropes. He inferred that because he was in a synagogue with Jews, they had the power, because Jews seem to control the governments, they control people in power, to free Afia Siddiqui, the terrorist that is being held in custody. She is known as Lady Al-Qaeda, and that was who Akram wanted to see freed. He was subsequently neutralized by the FBI and Special Forces. And any new developments on the story, we will bring you right here on the Israel Brief. Meanwhile, we are all hoping to see the back of this pandemic, but at the moment in Israel, the numbers are going up, and our health ministry has said that we haven't reached our peak yet. Meanwhile, a study done by Israel, the first of its kind in the world, has assessed that a fourth dose is not strong enough to combat the Omicron variant. At the moment, over 500,000 people who are eligible to receive the fourth dose have received their vaccination. These include healthcare workers, people who are immunocompromised, and anybody over the age of 60. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett and Foreign Minister Yair Lapid have both condemned the drone attack committed by Iranian-backed Houthi rebels on Abu Dhabi yesterday, which killed 3 people. The United Arab Emirates is an ally of Israel, and the two joined together to condemn this act and show and express their solidarity and support for the United Arab Emirates. Meanwhile, the UAE has said that this drone attack will not go unpunished. This also goes to show that Iran and Iranian proxies, in this case the Houthi rebels, are not just a threat to Israel, but also a threat to our allies in the region. And our final story takes us to Albania, where Afghan refugees successfully rescued by Israeli NGO Israel Aid with the backing of several partners, including Canadian philanthropist Sylvan Adams, finally had the opportunity to meet with those that rescued them. The 87 refugees that were rescued in October and consist mostly of teachers, interpreters, scientists, lawyers, and are seeking refuge in Albania until they get the all clear to go on to Canada, had the opportunity to meet with their Israeli rescuers. And while we don't know too much about what was said or first impressions, I must tell you, I'm quite curious to understand what they must have felt meeting Israelis, possibly for the first time ever. Afghanistan, under the Taliban, and certainly under the previous regime, did not recognize the state of Israel. So those are our top stories. Don't forget to check out our website for our original content. You can find us at www.layoftheland.online. I have an article up there which poses the questions: what do goblins, J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter have to do with anti-Semitism and celebrities? If you want to find out the answer, check out the article. It's also on our Facebook page at Lottle's site. If you haven't already, please give us a like or a follow. Share our content. It really helps us get past all the strange Facebook algorithms that prevents this kind of information from getting out. We're on YouTube. Our channel is The Israel Brief, and we would love it if you hit that red subscribe button so that we can increase our outreach to as many people as possible. And of course, we're on Twitter. Where else would we be? And you can follow us at Lay of the Land with the digit 5. I'm Rolene Marks. This is The Israel Brief, and we'll be back with you same time on your device tomorrow.